So I have with me Mr. Scott Lewis. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Yeah, good. So the last time that we spoke, you kind of spoke about the 10-year anniversary of Carnifex, and I feel that there's kind of almost been a resurgence of deathcore.
Yeah, maybe. I think you might be right. I think it kind of this wave where when deathcore first came around, it was super popular, but at the same time, everybody hated it, or a lot of people hated it. And then I think now that it's not really like, I think maybe gent is like the super popular genre now. So I think now if you are a newer band coming out with a deathcore sound and you're good, like people are just okay with it. They don't like attack you because you're deathcore.
So the buck's been passed, sort of thing.
Yeah, I think that there's a new most hated genre.
I also remember that you mentioned that it was kind of almost like a popularity contest, like the cool kids at the table. Sure, yeah. Would you say that statement still applies, or has things changed?
Not so much, because it's not really like the it genre anymore. It's not the new one. It moved on. I think even for a while there, I feel like deathcore kind of was like not the cool kid at all. And if you were a deathcore band in like 2013 or 14, it was kind of like, oh, still really? That's not gone yet completely, But I think now that we're past that, I think it's just another style of music. It's not really getting all this negative attention that it was getting when it was, super popular. Because I remember reading like some like reviews when the records would come out, and like they literally wouldn't even talk about the record. They just talk about how much they hated deathcore bands. It's like, well, okay, but you didn't even mention one song or anything about this record. You just said you hate the genre. And that was a lot, and that was like in big magazines, Decibel, Revolver, just trashing us because we're a deathcore band, but not even because, they didn't, I don't even know if they listened to the record. Maybe they did.
And this next question, feel free to not answer this or anything like that, but there was kind of a controversial issue with Virgin Trains when they used they used one of your tracks and compared it to all sorts of stuff which is not Carnifex.
Sure.
I was just wondering, like, how did they even think they would get away with that?
That song is on a record that's from a previous label, and I guess the kind of unfortunate reality of the music business is if you put a record out on a label and you sign a publishing deal with them, you're basically giving them autonomy to do whatever they want with your music. So we didn't know shit about it, of course. My issue wasn't necessarily with Virgin Trains. My issue was with that. I mean, we were never contacted. No one ever told us shit. Yeah. It just appeared. And that was a little bit of a bummer. If it would have been nice to give them a new song, a good song. I mean, they picked like the most random song ever. I don't know how they came to that one, but
sorry, it kind of highlights people's ignorance towards metal to compare it to all this kind of like loud crashing sort of stuff. Do you think that's ever gonna stop?
I mean, the concept of the ad, like, it didn't bug me. I know some fans were, like, irritated because, it was like metal music is supposed to be, like, this. Well, they're comparing, like, listening to metal to, like, having some awful day commuting. Exactly. Which, I guess the music's chaotic, it's loud. Commuting's chaotic and loud. Like, okay, it's not the best concept, but, okay, I get it. Obviously, a metalhead did not make that commercial. I wasn't mad at the ad. It was just unfortunate that, like, we're the artist being featured, but we weren't able to participate in any way. We were never asked, notified, nothing. Certainly not getting paid. So
it's great to hear, that you guys are probably at, I think, the biggest popularity you've ever been at. You've got a sold out show tonight. So what's the next step? Is deathcore going to take over the world?
No, definitely not. I don't even know if we could take over deathcore. We're trying. The next step for us is just, I think when you say the band's bigger than it's ever been, that's true. And it's not just true in the sense of me saying, oh, look how good my band is. Like, our ticket sales are bigger than they've ever been. You can look on paper and we can see the number. The merch sales are up, the CD sales are up. So we're fortunate that all the touring and all the effort we're putting into especially the last two albums, it's paying off and it's connecting. So I think for us going into this third record, obviously there's a high expectation. I think the fans really like the last 2 records. You know, there's an expectation on myself as well. I was really happy with the last 2 records, so now it's like, you know, we came out of Slow Death saying that's the best record we know how to write. About almost 4 songs done right now. But we're relatively slow writers, so it'll come out in 2019.
Okay.
From about middle of the year, probably. Okay. So still a little more time, but we're working, and our goal is just write another album that's as good or better than Slow Death. I honestly feel like these 3 or 4 we have now, I think we're off to a better start than when we started Slow Death. So I feel good.
Good, man. On that positive note, thank you ever so much for having a chat.